Welcome and greetings, coming to you pre-recorded from an undisclosed location with today's special guests, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Tom Cruise, Melissa McCarthy, and musical guest, Kiss.
Okay.
It's the Escape Podcast! Na 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 na. This is the Escape Podcast, your source for all good things in the universe of movies. I'm Brandon.
I'm Josh.
And today we're talking about 2018, what's to come, and maybe a couple things that have already come out.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, there's been a few changes at the podcast. Josh, why don't you talk about the changes in subscription?
Well, yeah, so basically we are no longer paying for Podomatic, so for right now, all the old episodes are falling off. Right now, we only have the 7 most recent on iTunes and Podomatic. So if you want to listen to, I think it's 1 through 29 currently, you have to go to YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, which also has our stats report. Those
yes.
are YouTube exclusives.
Check the descriptions and however you're listening to this to get the link to our YouTube channel. You can go to our Facebook page. You can email us. Mm-hmm. Our email address is what, Josh?
escapepodcast16@gmail.com.
Yep. If you have any problems or issues with the podcast, send us an email. If you have any requests, we take requests. We've done a few of them in the past, and we have some coming up later in the year. Just send us an email, contact us, let us know. Everything will be up on YouTube, and most stuff should be on iTunes, and only the most recent 7 will be on Podomatic.
Right. Yeah, we're going to leave everything on YouTube. I don't see any reason to change that, and I kind of think YouTube will be like our main hub for.
Right, yeah.
But what's coming up after this, we're going to be doing one of my classic favorites here soon. I'll leave that a little unknown for a future date. And also, I have a mystery movie. I decided it'd be fun to pick a movie that Brandon has no idea what it is. I'm going to set him down, see what he thinks, see how it goes.
I like this idea. I'm also a little scared.
Yeah. And then Brandon's later going to do one for me. He's going to.
Yeah, we're going to do these back and forth. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Black Panther is out this weekend.
Yes.
Neither one of us have seen it yet, but
Correct.
We're planning on seeing it, or at least I am. So we'll talk about that soon, too. All right, 2018. We've both already actually seen a movie that's come out this year.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
You know, it was revealed during the Super Bowl that, just out of nowhere, the Cloverfield Paradox would be available on Netflix. Right. Josh, you watched it.
I did.
What'd you think?
I don't think I hated it as much as you. I didn't love it, but it was... There's definitely a lot of things that seemed like were typical. Like, some things very much reminded me of Aliens. And then they had that movie, I think, that just came out late last year called Life. That was last year, which also kind of seemed like Aliens. So to me, it's like you had 2 movies, like, very recently that kind of seemed like they're ripping off. And there was just a lot of stereotypical, like, stuff, like the hand crawling. Like, they showed that in the trailer. I don't know. To me, they could have kept that. I don't know. It just seems like this movie wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie, and then at the last minute they said, okay, how can we make this connect? And they just kind of tacked some stuff on, to me.
Yeah, they did the same thing with the previous Cloverfield movie, except it worked a lot better. And this one, it just seems like a movie that they made, and then they went in afterwards, added some Cloverfield stuff, and...
No, I was just going to say, I will say, though, I thought it was interesting. Like, have you ever seen The Mist?
Yes.
The thing I liked about it is I always thought the idea of parallel dimensions, doorways opening up between places was kind of cool. And I didn't think this one did it as well, but I thought that concept was really cool, that there are alternate realms and doorways opening up, kind of like The Mist. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I don't know. It seemed like a low-budget production where...
See, I didn't think it looked low budget. I remember
it felt low budget to me.
Okay.
And it just seemed like they used a bunch of randomness, like weird theories, and I don't know. I wasn't very thrilled with the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of, the first 2 movies.
Okay. The second one was great.
If you were into those first 2 movies, watch it or don't. It doesn't matter.
Well,
there's a 4th one coming out this year, too.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with World War II or something.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
But it also, have you ever seen, I think it's called Event Horizon? Is that with Sam Neill?
Yeah, I know of it. I don't know if I've seen it.
And it seemed like there's kind of a little bit of that going on. And even that Interstellar, just a little bit I don't know, just something about it kind of reminded me.
It was a sloppy script that got slopped together, and then they slopped some Cloverfield into it and slopped it onto Netflix.
Is it Paramount that had the rights? Was it?
Yeah, and they sold it off to Netflix.
I think that was it. That they felt like crap. We wasted all this money.
I don't think they wasted that much money.
Well, they wasted some money.
Anyway,
and I think they just were like, well, who wants it? Because
we've both watched the Cloverfield movies, and I think we're both interested. We both like the second one for sure.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't like the style of the first one. I thought the idea of the monster was cool, but I didn't like the point of view. Like, a guy actually shooting the film right there and then and there. You couldn't tell what you're looking at. Everything's shaking too much and shadowed and
well, we can
sloppy.
get into that more later. We're gonna do probably an episode about the Cloverfield universe and all the movies involved in it. So some of the stuff that's already come out
So as of right now, today, Black Panther is released. This is February 16th,
2018.
2018.
I hope. So some stuff that's already come out. Insidious. Have you seen any of those movies?
I have not.
Insidious: The Last Key. It was the fourth one in the series. Wow. I watched the first one and I had mixed feelings on it. Okay. And I started to watch the second one, and I think I turned it off a quarter of the way through because I was just bored. I didn't really care. I'm surprised that they've made 4 of these. Let me scroll down my list here. 50 Shades Freed. I know you're a big fan.
Big fan.
Of the 50 Shades series. I know you're looking forward to that one. Did you see it yet? Okay. So we have Black Panther out right now. I'm going to see it. I've heard nothing but good things so far. I haven't been super excited for it, which should put me in a good place when I see the movie.
I'm slowly getting caught up, I think. What do I need to see?
You got to watch Thor.
Yes, I need to watch Thor.
And that's it.
Is that all I need?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, we'll get Thor to you, and then I'll drag you out to see Black Panther, and we'll see it. Because I think Thor comes out in like a week or 2 on DVD.
Are we going to watch Justice League?
If somebody requests Justice League besides Dave.
And Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I guess maybe eventually we'll do this.
Yeah. I'm always willing to give things a shot.
Do you know much about Black Panther?
Only because he was in Civil War and I did that.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about him until maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He's in the fictional country of Wakanda, which is in Africa. And they're
much more advanced than us, it looks like.
Yeah, they've been kind of like a secretive country. Like I don't even know if people knew that they were there.
Or they had the illusion that they're a third world country when they're really there.
Yeah, they managed to hide their technology from the rest of the world. But now with this movie, they're starting to reveal things. And apparently it's supposed to be just craziness. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then, of course, any connections it has to what's coming next. I'm really excited for, but we'll see how the movie is. I've heard it's good.
Okay.
Also released this weekend was the other superhero, Early Man, who has the ability to get everywhere he's going on time. There's a movie that came out called Early Man. It's a British stop-motion animation adventure.
Yeah, the same people that did Wallace and
Gromit.
Yeah, there it is.
I feel bad for movies that come out at the same time as the superhero movies now. Yeah. I don't know how well the movie would do anyway, but...
Well, it's kind of a different market in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know kids will go for all these Marvel movies anyway, but like that's really for the kids.
Yeah, Black Panther is PG-13, and it's going to have a little more adult themes in it. Wallace and Gromit style is going to be for smaller kids for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess if you can't take your kid to see Black Panther, go see Early Man.
Okay. What do you think about Annihilation?
Okay, I did watch the trailer for this. I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm mildly intrigued. It didn't really catch me, but it was slightly interesting looking, maybe. It might be something, if you decided you really wanted to see it and you said, hey, let's go, I might go. It's nothing I'm going to rush out to see. I see it's coming out February 23rd.
Well, it has that kind of thing where, like, there's an area that's different.
Which, that kind of reminds me, did you ever see it's not good, but the 90s Lost in Space based off the TV show?
Yes.
Do you remember when they crash land on that planet and there's, like, this barrier that they can walk into, but like on one side it's like the planet looks like one way, and I don't know, it's weird.
I don't remember it that well.
Yeah,
I just remember thinking it wasn't that great when I saw it.
No, it's not that great, but
yeah, I rewatched it a couple years ago too. Okay. That shows you how good the movie is. I rewatched it not too long ago, and I don't remember almost anything about it. Dr. Smith turned into a spider. That's about it. When I watched this trailer, I thought it kind of looked interesting, but for the most part, it reminded me of like an action-heavy version of Arrival. And neither one of us liked Arrival.
Right.
If you haven't listened to our Arrival episode, go check it out. We're probably one of very few people that hate it. Everybody seems to have loved it, but I couldn't stand it.
You did one on your show, too.
Yeah, I have a YouTube video up about Arrival. The
MovieFilm
audio
presents.
the audio for it is horrible, so if you care to watch it, turn it up.
Well, it's a video. It's
Yeah.
You can watch things.
Let's see what else. Game Night. We just watched a trailer for Game Night that comes out February 23rd.
That reminded me. There's a Michael Douglas movie called The Game. I think it's from '97, and kind of reminded. This is more like a comical version of that, but I guess it's where I saw it once. It's where basically something's happening to him, very dramatic, and you find out it's all a game, but like
what it looks like is there's a group of couples that get together and have a game night maybe once a week or once a month, and one of the guys is apparently rich or something, and he's like, let's do it at my house. So they do it at his house, and he's like, we're playing a different game tonight. We're not playing a board game or charades. What's going to happen is going to seem very realistic, and you're not going to know what's real and what's wrong. It's supposed to be like some kind of a crime thing. And then while
almost like you're acting out Clue.
Yeah, and then the trailer we watched is a little bit different from the one that I saw. In the one that I saw, it was he was in the middle of explaining the rules, and then some people came in and grabbed him, and he's like, this isn't part of the game. And they're all just sitting on the couch like, okay, listening to him as though he's still explaining the rules, which who knows if it is or not. But
have you ever seen those? There's a place right here in our area where it's like Escape the Room.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, only a little more elaborate. And
well, this one seems like they're all over the place and like doing action.
Kind of like almost a scavenger hunt, if you will.
I wrote a little note when I saw it. Said the trailer showed a lot, which I think it did, and it seems kind of interesting. Looks like a date.
Yeah, it almost looks like they showed the ending.
Almost, yeah. It looks kind of like a date movie for people in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with A Wrinkle in Time?
I'm only familiar that it's a book, and I know there's like a few of them, right? I never read them.
I think it's part of a series.
I've always been interested in reading them, but never got around to it.
This is coming out on March 9th.
Okay. I saw the trailer. I didn't think much of it.
A Wrinkle in Time is an upcoming American sci-fi fantasy adventure film directed by Ava DuVernay. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But better than I could do.
Yeah. It's based on the 1962 novel of the same name. By the way,
I didn't realize it was that old.
That's the theme of this year, is more than half of the movies, while I was going through all the movies coming out, if they're not comic book movies, they're based on a novel. So like almost everything, that was the phrase of
Is
the
it
year.
Annihilation based off the book too?
It might be. I could go back and look, but so anyway, this is it's got like Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon,
Mindy Kelly Kapoor from The Office, Mindy Kaling.
It actually has the girl from Cloverfield Paradox in it.
Okay, and Chris Pine is in it, and Galifianakis.
Yeah, that's how you know I don't want to see it. He's in it. So
yeah, it didn't look very good to me. I'm sure it's probably one of those things where the book.
It looks crappy. Good. I read the book when I was a kid. Okay. I don't remember that much about it. Yeah. I remember it being kind of difficult to read because it was like heavy on the sci-fi.
Yeah.
I may have been a little bit too young to read it when I read it. But yeah, that looks crappy. All right, so Friday, March 16th, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider remake, yeah.
You just rewatched the first Tomb Raider movie, didn't you?
Yeah, I had seen it before, but it's been years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't care.
Yeah, it seems very much like it's based off the new, like, I guess, you know what's funny is I never played the Tomb Raider games. I didn't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, I think I played maybe the first one a little bit on PC.
I used to work at Taco Bell in, 2001, and Taco Bell had the promotional ties with Tomb Raider, so we actually had a Taco Bell shirt that also was like a Tomb Raider shirt, and I remember like the cups that we passed out.
Oh, jeez.
But, yeah, I never had a PlayStation. In fact, I jumped right from like the Sega to eventually a PS2 way later, but I knew that she was like basically like a female modern Indiana Jones, and I always loved Indiana Jones, so you think I could have or should have just picked up on that, but again, I didn't have the system. So like Brandon said, I just rewatched the original 2001 movie, and it's not a great movie, but it was just kind of a fun, kill some time. I actually liked it. There's a lot of things I could gripe about with it, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the new one.
So you had fun. It was a stupid fun movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun movie. A lot of stuff was just overly
I don't remember
ridiculous.
Too much about it. I remember thinking, I don't know if it was just pictures of her or if she was like this in the movie. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound funny, but we were teenagers, so like when the movie came out, it looked almost like they gave her like a square bra or something that made her look weird. And I always figured that was because that's how she looked in the video game, so they tried to make her look like the video game.
I will say that she's not squared off in this.
Okay. So, all right.
Anyway, but at a certain point, it looks like they changed the Lara Croft character to, not because she's got the short shorts and they gave her pants. They just updated her style.
I've seen some of the newer
games, and this movie looks like they're following that one.
Yeah, they're pretty violent now. I mean, they were always a little bit violent.
It looks like her new weapon is like this pickaxe type thing, and it looks like she uses it a lot when she like makes these jumps. She like catches the like a ledge with the axe to like pull her up, and then she's
the Princess of Persia.
It kind of does remind me of that, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not super interested. It looks maybe if I had a choice, there's probably this movie looks better than some other things we're going to be talking about, but not well enough to like run out.
Okay. So the next most interesting thing would be Friday, March 23rd, Pacific Rim Uprising.
Okay.
You watched the first one, yeah?
March 23rd? Is that when it's coming out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I had May 23rd.
Well, one of us is right. So anyway, Pacific Rim, this is the second one. I was looking forward to it when I heard that they were talking about doing it, and Guillermo del Toro was into it and all that stuff. But at some point along the way, he is not part of it anymore.
Oh, really?
He's listed as a producer, but I don't think he has anything to do with this one, which makes me a little bit less interested in it. And then I've seen the trailers, and it just kind of looks like, I don't know, it's the trailer isn't selling me on it.
Okay, so I was really interested when the first one came out. I only seen it one time. And I remember when I watched it, it wasn't as good as I had hoped it to be. And I've always kind of thought I need to watch it again, kind of give it a second try, but I never got around to doing it. This movie looks like they're just basically trying to take everything the first one did and just like try to crank it to 11. And frankly, I don't know, I always found the monsters way more interesting than the robots. And to me, they shouldn't have showed that this one monster is like, 10 times taller than any.
People don't know how to keep secrets anymore.
Because I was like, oh, that would have been a great surprise. But like, I don't know. It just.
It's just like, let's just show them everything so they know they want to go see it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you leave me something so when I'm in the theater, I can be like, whoa, no way.
Yeah.
Like.
That would have been a great surprise.
I think we talked about this with the Thor movie. I can understand why they put Hulk in the trailer. They want people to know, oh, Hulk's in it.
Yeah,
just
that would have been a nice
this
surprise,
is more
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
However, had I not known that he was in it and he just showed up,
great, yeah.
oh my gosh, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's one I could definitely wait on.
I kind of want to bring this one up. This is also coming out the same weekend as Pacific Rim. It's called Unsane.
I'm familiar with this.
It's an upcoming American psychological horror thriller.
That's right up your alley.
This one's actually not based on a book, it looks like, but it's about a girl who thinks she's being stalked, and then she finds out she's in a mental institution. It doesn't sound that interesting, really, to me. What caught my eye was the name, because it looks like a film directed by Ralph Wiggins from The Simpsons.
Okay.
You're insane. Just it seems like something he would have said. I don't know. So the following week, March 30th, we have Ready Player One.
Pass.
You don't care?
No, I don't. They're trying to win me over with specifically 80s nostalgia, but also like probably some 90s, and even I saw The Iron Giant was in it. They're trying too hard.
Yeah, okay, so Ready Player One is based on a book.
Yeah.
Of course, like most of the movies coming out this year are. This is the plot. Set in a near-future dystopian Earth, the population spends most of its time in an interconnected virtual space called Oasis. When the founder of Oasis dies and bequeaths ownership of Oasis to the first person to find hidden treasure within Oasis by playing the games and solving the puzzles, a race ensues between a young man and his friends and a large corporate entity that wants to control Oasis for themselves. Sounds extremely stupid. I mean, I'm sure it was a book for young adults, is what they call it now. Basically, teenagers.
Yeah.
What are you holding your phone to me for?
I'm not. Okay. Stop looking at my phone.
It looks really dumb. The plot sounds really stupid. I'm sure, any kids... I don't know what the problem is. I think it's Harry Potter and Hunger Games have made it like just a flood. Anything that was a book is now going to become a movie because they want to try and get a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
And I don't even think... Like, I'm not super into those movies either, but whatever. The nostalgia aspect of it, just... It's not so much like... I know, like, a popular phrase is, oh, you're ruining my childhood or something like that. I think that's a stupid phrase.
Stupid.
I think it would be more accurate to say you're exploiting my childhood. You're like, oh, I know people in their 30s who have jobs and kids now are going to see this and be like, I watched this when I was a kid, so I'm going to want to take my kid to go see it, or I'll just go see it because now I'm a big nerd that remembers all those things from when I was a kid.
I see that.
It gets annoying. I don't know. It could be a good movie. It doesn't look super interesting to me.
No,
Probably wouldn't be it unless I hear really good things about it. There's also a movie coming out that same weekend called Mary Magdalene, which looks really dumb. It's a movie about her and Jesus, and I'm assuming it's going to be a thing where they're going to say that they had a relationship. So let's just skip that one, I guess. Okay, so anyway, the next weekend that I have on here is Friday, April 6th. We're both interested in this one. It is A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place is actually one of two that I'm really excited for this year. It kind of reminds me, just based off the trailer, of what I wished The Village would have been. Did you saw The Village, I'm assuming?
No. I know about it. But...
Okay. You know the ending and everything?
Yeah.
So The Village to
Real
me...
quick.
Okay.
The Village got ruined for me, and so did The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. I did know The Sixth Sense before I saw that.
It got so ruined that I have...
Sorry.
You're ruining the podcast. So it got so ruined for me that I have no interest in seeing it. The same thing kind of almost happened with... what's that other one that just came out by him? You watched it.
Oh, Split.
Split, yeah. Somebody said something about Split to me, and it almost makes me not want to watch it. But I do want to watch it because I guess it has something to do with an after-scenes credit. Somebody had ruined that for me, and I'm like, oh, well, thanks for ruining that surprise. Like, why do you say that? Anyway.
I actually really liked Split.
I do want to check it out because I've heard it's good. Anyway, so A Quiet Place.
So, yeah, it kind of, again, it's probably nothing like it, but just based off the trailer, it vaguely kind of reminded me of The Village, only in that there's some kind of creatures, I don't know, going to make it be aliens or...
So this stars John Krasinski.
Yes.
Many people know him as Jim from The Office.
Correct.
And his real-life wife, Emily Blunt.
Correct.
She was in that movie with Tom Cruise.
Edge of Tomorrow, some people call it.
Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah.
It has a million names because...
Well, I think that was actually the tagline, but it would have been a better title for the actual movie.
Yeah, there's a weird story somewhere with the naming of that movie.
Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, this is like... There's some kind of supernatural creatures. Let's see. I'll read this synopsis.
All right.
Mysterious supernatural forces attracted to sound have surfaced and are attacking all over the world. A family must now hide and live in silence at a secluded abandoned farm to survive by avoiding every noise and communicating in sign language.
Oh, okay, so I know that basically they actually hired one of the children in the movie is deaf. And
For real?
Well, the character is, and they actually hired a real-life deaf child for authenticity. Because basically... What? What are you looking at?
What do you mean?
Okay. So they have 3 kids in the movie, I think. One of their kids in the movie is supposed to be deaf, so they actually went out and found a real deaf child actor.
So the actor is actually...
So the actor
okay.
and the character are supposed to be deaf. He said he didn't want to have a kid that could hear portray a deaf child. They want more authentic, so they got an actual deaf child.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, the movie looks interesting. I don't know how a lot of people are going to react to it. A movie that's going to be probably a large portion of it is going to be silence.
A friend of mine, Tim, was the one that first showed me this trailer, and at first I thought, okay, yeah, sort of sounds good. He was saying that, like, he wondered if it was mostly going to be a silent movie. But when I watched the second trailer, which was when I really got way more interested in it, that's when they at certain points she is whispering.
I'm sure it's not gonna. They're definitely gonna have parts to keep people. They know that people are gonna be like, "What's going on?" But however, I do want to bring up a movie from the past that, for the most part, was just one guy sitting on an island by himself with a volleyball. Like a huge portion of Castaway. You hated that movie?
I hated that movie.
A huge portion of Castaway was Tom Hanks out by himself on this island, and like he'd only talk to the volleyball every now and then.
Yeah.
And I thought that was I thought that was the most intriguing movie. Like I couldn't stop watching it. There's something to be said for not filling every scene with tons of sounds and action and all that stuff. Like you can get a story.
Well, it's almost like the what did they say? Art thrives on limitations. So you have this limitation that they can't talk, so that in turn actually might make the movie more interesting or more compelling. The suspenseful scenes might work a little better. They have to, the concept that these creatures are attracted to sound. So obviously you can't have your actors talk as much. Mm-hmm. So that might actually make the scenes more suspenseful and more
That would explain why they all know sign language too if they have a deaf kid.
Well, and I was reading also apparently John Krasinski's character is a survivalist. Like that was, I don't know if he was like military, so like that explains how he would have been able to train his family up to be able to live off the land, to act more stealth. They showed where, I don't know if you saw in the trailer, like certain parts of the floor are marked. And I don't know if that's like
it seemed
marked.
like they were using like sand and stuff like that to keep their footsteps quiet.
And then like, for instance, okay, when I go home in the morning, because I have 2 jobs, so I get home in the morning and our kid, he's usually, hopefully, still asleep.
Yeah.
So, like, I actually know, like, okay, in the hallway, there's a certain spot right in the middle that squeaks. So, like, I got to try to step off to the far left to, get to the bathroom or whatever. So
it looked like they were doing that. They were marking
marked,
areas.
yeah, like, I don't know if it's, like, the spots to avoid or this is spots you need to try to hit.
Right.
But,
if they're that sensitive to sound, like, just a little squeak would bring them come running in, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, and I'm wondering, too, because it looks like they have set up their camp on, like, a farm area, so I'm assuming there's animals still around, so there's other things to hopefully distract and confuse these creatures.
Are there animals still around?
I'm assuming.
Did you see any in the trailers?
I didn't.
Because if anything makes noise, will it kill anything, or is it or whatever it is?
They're only living just off plant life, vegetables, fruits.
You can do it. You probably wouldn't be very healthy.
True. But another thing I wanted to say, it makes me wonder if these creatures are either A, blind, or have, like, very poor, like, no eyes at all. Because they showed the one part where, like, they're walking, and stupidly, why would the parents do this? They had one of their kids in the back. And the kid, like, had, like, a toy fire truck or something.
Why would they have that if it makes noise?
Yeah, you wouldn't take anything, well, unless they found it. Like, maybe they're going to try to explain, like, they found it and he didn't, he had it. But anyway, he pushes the button on this toy, it makes a little whatever. And they showed, like, where Krasinski looks, and you can see, like, one of the creatures was, like, only, 10, 15
they showed
feet.
It?
You can't get a good look at it, but you see there's something in the trees, like, right 10, 15 feet from them.
So you're thinking maybe they can't see?
I'm wondering again if they don't have eyes at all. Like maybe they're just like...
a couple more interesting things about this movie is there was a rumor going around that it was tied to the Cloverfield universe, which
someone said that, yeah. I kind of don't want it to be.
That was a highly speculative rumor going around, and now after we've actually gotten the third Cloverfield movie, the rumor was that it was actually the third Cloverfield movie, but since we've gotten that one, I highly doubt it.
And I know
it was
like
already
the idea of that being...
It was already unlikely, but if you watch the trailers with the idea that this is a Cloverfield movie, it makes a lot more sense. I actually wish this was a Cloverfield movie after seeing the Cloverfield Paradox. Anyway.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward. That might be one if you said, Brittany.
We'll probably go see it.
Yeah.
So
I'll either go on a date with you or a date with my wife. Or a double date. You guys can both take me out. That's a joke.
I was okay. So
what were you gonna say?
So the other interesting thing is it's actually directed by John Krasinski himself.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting. I don't know how much he's directed. This might be his first one.
I wonder if he directed some Office episodes.
It's a good question.
Well, I know some of these actors. Like I know if you look at like The Office and we just rewatched Frasier. A lot of them like you'll start to see like Kelsey Grammer or. Certain people are producers.
They did that in Star Trek a lot. A lot of the Star Trek
A lot
actors.
of them, yeah, I was going to say a lot of
Jonathan Frakes especially.
LeVar Burton did some, and I think Gates McFadden, I think she did.
Leonard Nimoy. Well, I don't know if they did episodes, but they did movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Him and William Shatner. All right, so also coming out on that same weekend is a movie called Chappaquiddick. Do you know what that is?
No, never heard of it.
It's going to be a historical movie about when Ted Kennedy drove his car into a river and killed a woman.
Okay.
That's what it's going to be about. Oh. So if anybody's interested in that, it's coming out in April. Next one that I kind of want to talk about a little bit is Rampage, coming out on April 20th.
I loved that game when I was a kid. I remember we used to go to...
Now, did you have a Nintendo?
I didn't have it. I had a Nintendo, but I didn't have it on Nintendo. So I remember when I used to go to, like, Showbiz, which turned into Chuck E. Cheese, which talked about that.
Yeah.
Or Caesarland. Do you remember Caesarland?
Yeah, I loved Caesarland.
I loved Rampage because I think
they had an arcade of it.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I think we said this before, or I said it before. I was always a big fan of like King Kong. I liked Godzilla too, but I loved King Kong.
There were 3 of them.
There was also a giant wolf.
I don't know if there was
in the original.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because I think there were at least 2 games. There may have been 3. Was there one for Super Nintendo as well?
That I don't. I mean, they probably did I mean, well, I know.
I think there was actually one for.
Updated version.
I think there was like a really newer one, like maybe for GameCube or Wii or something.
Yeah, where they added a bunch of different. Like, there's a giant rat and a ram and some kind of.
They were fun, but they were only fun for so long because it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they added some stuff like certain points, certain buildings would.
But I remember the three. There
explosives.
was Liz the lizard.
See, I didn't remember their names.
George the gorilla. George the animal steel.
Okay. And there's a wolf.
There was a wolf. I can't remember the wolf's name.
Yeah, because in that version they were people that like I assume drank something and.
Yeah, it was some kind of weird thing. The backstory wasn't really important when you were a kid. In this, it looks like something falls from outer space.
If you watch the other trailer, I'm actually getting the impression that it's something man-made because the one woman's like, Project Rampage works.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So,
but I thought it was funny. One of the things I noticed right off the bat is the gorilla is now white instead of brown. My assumption is that they want to make sure it's not brown, like to separate that, or maybe there was some kind of like you can't have a giant brown gorilla because now they're trying to Kong back.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Whatever. I noticed that they did have they had a large dog, a large wolf or something.
There's a wolf.
They mentioned that, and then crocodile. They also showed like the crocodile, which is kind of weird.
I don't think they never specifically said it was an alligator or crocodile in the game.
They just said a lizard.
It was just like a Godzilla.
Yeah, like a Godzilla looking thing, Reptar.
Yeah.
So but they show it swimming in there. I guess if we're gonna make a crocodile, fine. I guess. I wonder if there's gonna be anything else. Like if there's a surprise.
Yeah, there could be. So my problem with it is one, The Rock.
He's your favorite actor.
I don't have a problem with him as a person. He seems like a nice guy.
Have you ever smelled what he's cooking?
No, I haven't. But he seems like a nice guy. He seems like one of those people that like if you saw him somewhere, he's real cool with his fans.
Yeah.
But
he's very likable.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. I just don't think much of him as an actor because one, he only has one thing he can do. He's always Mr. Tough Guy. He's always Mr. Smooth, and to me that just gets old. And also, I kind of find it like, okay, so like him and his pet gorilla are, teaming up to fight these other things or something. And I was just
I think he might actually look more like a gorilla than the gorilla. Anyway, all right, so the stuff you just said that you don't like about The Rock, could you also say the exact same things about Arnold?
I don't know if it's just because I grew up with Arnold more that I just have a soft spot for, like, I'm not like a diehard
because Arnold isn't like the most dynamic actor.
True. That's why his best role was him playing a cybernetic
or
robot.
Conan where he doesn't talk.
Yeah. But Arnold, he's made fun of himself,
Yeah. He's another one of those guys that seemed like he'd be pretty cool in person.
Yeah. I still feel like he's expanded a little more than even him. Like, I mean, he did Twins, and he did the one, the comedic Junior. He's done some, like...
If you compare Arnold's movies to the Rock's movies, I would say more often than not, people probably like the Arnold movies better.
Yeah. But plus, also, Arnold was from that era when it was, like, the
80s,
over-the-top, ridiculous.
Super
and that's what
action man.
Also makes those more fun to me.
That's why what's your action name again? It's Dirk Hardpeck?
No, I was, you were like Jack Kilgore, and I was Bartholomew Thompson or something.
Uh-huh.
I also, another thing I thought was ridiculous, that the wolf flies.
I remember it jumping.
This one, it flies. In the trailer, he goes, of course the wolf.
What?
It looks like a flying squirrel. It has like, where it like expands out, it has like that.
And it just... You know what? I don't care. Just make it as crazy as possible.
I guess.
And maybe it'll be like... Because it's going to be stupid. There's no question about that. It will be stupid. But will it be stupid bad or stupid good? That's the thing.
Kind of like Pacific Rim. It's a stupid concept. But is this silly of me? I kind of wish they would have been upright walking. Like, because they're all four-legged still. And
well, that's how they were in the video games.
No, they were two-legged.
Yeah, because they were bipedal,
they were,
all of them in the video game.
Yeah, and I kind of think that would have made it a little cooler.
Yeah, like I remember me and John had a discussion about, I don't think you watched it. There's the TV show on HBO called True Blood.
No, I didn't.
It was what it was. So anyway, I
remember him talking about watching it. But
he was into it more than I was. Yeah. Some parts of it were kind of cool.
Yeah.
But they eventually got to the point where they introduced werewolves into it, and the werewolves, like, it would be a person that turns into a wolf, and they'd look like just a regular wolf. And me and John had a discussion about it. I said I would prefer it. Like, why aren't they like bipedal?
Sure.
Like standing on two legs, big monstrous things.
I agree.
Like, it's kind of boring when they're just
Which is
a
what we
wolf.
talked about with American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
We kind of would preferred it be because he was always two-legged.
That's an exception for me because I thought they made that one look like a beast. Like that.
No, he is. He's beefy, but like still, I kind of was the whole time I watched that I was waiting for him to stand up.
Yeah. Well, we'll watch The Howling this year for Halloween, and you'll like that one better. As far as the look of the wolf goes. Also, it has a Star Trek connection. The first werewolf you see in the movie is Robert Picardo. You've never seen him.
Oh, I have seen The Howling. That's
Never
the one,
seen him with so much hair.
The end of where they like,
She's
throw
on
a
the, like, the news
burger.
broadcast.
She's like throws a burger out, and they like just zoom on this burger being cooked.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
I remember we laughed at that.
So I might see the Rampage just
because I was also saying because me and this other guy I work with were talking about it, and I was saying like wouldn't it have been kind of cool because he was like, well, they're animals, of course they're four-legged. I was like, well, would it have been kind of cool if they said somehow it spliced with humans or some human got mutated into them and it could.
I still want to see that version of Jurassic Park.
A reasoning. If it wasn't a Jurassic Park movie, like if it was just a separate movie, it kind of sounds almost interesting. After I watched the Cloverfield, that's like if this had not been Cloverfield anything, it would have been slightly more acceptable. Okay. It would have still been bad, but anyway. Also coming out the same weekend as Rampage on April 20th. There's a couple of other movies that I wanted to mention. Overboard was one. I'm only mentioning it because it's a remake. I was going to say, isn't that Goldie Hawn?
Yeah, it's Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
from 1987.
Yeah.
It seems like a weird movie to remake, but
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me anymore. Yeah. Like, there's not really a whole lot of original content coming out in movies unless a lot of them are like on the smaller side.
Right.
And even with the ones that are original contents, a lot of them almost seem like they're borrowing heavily from other things. Sure. So, remakes are just what we have now. So, also sequels. Super Troopers 2 is coming out. It's been, like 17 years?
I saw it once.
Did you see it in the theater or you saw it at home?
I think I actually saw it at John's.
Did you like the first Super Troopers? Do you remember anything about it?
Not much. I remember laughing. There's a part where two of the cops, they pull over like a semi-truck and they, for whatever reason, they get locked in. And then like some time passes. And I remember like all of a sudden you hear the guy say, and that's the second time I got crabs. And then the other cops like open the door for them, and I thought that was really funny that like that's what they were talking about in the dark.
They do a lot of funny stuff in that movie. It reminds me of like a National Lampoon's movie.
Okay.
A better National Lampoon's movie. Like, it was good. It wasn't the most amazing movie ever, but like it had that feel to it, almost like it could have been made in the 80s.
Like, I don't even know who's in it. Like, I can't remember.
It's just this little comedy group. Yeah. It's like an independent thing. So they've made other movies. One was like Beer Fest. Another one was Iguana Club or something. I can't remember. Okay. Their other movies weren't as good, but Super Troopers is cool. Yeah. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this second one forever.
I'm willing to rewatch it.
I'm cautious on it. I'm not sure that.
Well, kind of like Anchorman. I didn't think Anchorman 2 was.
Nah, it didn't live up. A lot of these, when they take forever to come out with a sequel, have been kind of disappointments. Like Dumb and Dumber.
Goodness, yeah, that was terrible. I mean, obviously, you know it's not going to be a masterpiece, but it wasn't even funny.
A lot of sequels aren't as good as the first anyway, but like it just seems like it's been too long to recapture what they had.
Sure,
so,
for sure.
But I watched the trailer. It looked interesting. In this one, it's the same cast is coming back.
Okay.
And it looks like there's a town in Canada that finds out they're actually part of the U.S. So that's like the big conflict of the film.
That sounds like a Simpsons episode or something.
The first thing I thought of was, what was that Michael Moore movie? Canadian Bacon.
Okay.
Which, that wasn't exactly it. It was somebody trying to instigate a war between Canada and America, I think, if I remember right, with John Candy in it.
I remember when it came out. I never saw it.
So, it looks interesting. I don't know if I'll go see it or not.
Okay.
The next one that's coming out that looks pretty interesting is on Friday, May 4th.
Yeah, a little like low budget movie. I don't think probably most people probably never heard of it.
I think some people go see it.
I don't know. I don't think
it is known for having the smallest budget ever for a movie.
Yeah,
it's Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
If you haven't heard of it,
I guess there's
out
like
there,
a couple of them, but I think they. Yeah.
This is a movie I've been waiting years for.
Okay.
I'm super excited to see it. I want to see what happens. Thanos he's gonna be like the worst bad guy that they've ever had to deal with, and it's gonna take all of them to try and fight him. And I don't think, because like there's gonna be another Avengers movie that's gonna be centered around Thanos too. So
Because this is a part 1 kind of thing.
at first they were saying part 1 and part 2, and then they're saying no, it's not part 1, part 2. But now they won't release the name of the second one because they say it's kind of a spoiler. I hate doing this, but I watch so much news and like just look for little things about the movies.
You found out what the supposed title is?
I can't stay away from stuff about this movie, so I'm trying so hard to like not spoil it for myself.
And this,
but, like,
we literally, for me, this was the first time I think watching that trailer.
Yeah, so
ago.
like I'm a little more caught up on like what's going on behind the scenes, and like while I don't know the name of the next one, I don't know exactly what it's going to be about. I have an idea.
Okay, so you know me, I'm not gonna go over it too much. Kind of lost interest, but I will say this trailer looked pretty good, which is saying something. Not saying I'm gonna run out and see it, but it looked better than.
I want to watch it right now. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Okay. I thought Thanos looked kind of silly though. He looked very just almost like a buff Barney, CGI Barney. Like he just looked ridiculous.
I've heard some other people complain about the way he looks too. I don't have any problems with it.
To me, when they showed him at the end of the
Have you ever seen what he looks like in the comic books?
I think so.
It's not too far off.
Okay, maybe this sounds ridiculous of me to even point this out. When you see him barely in the end of the original Avengers, he almost looked more burgundy.
Yeah, the color has changed a couple times.
He looked more menacing, actually. And then when they showed him in, I think he's in the first Guardians, right? I thought, oh my goodness, like, then he was all CGI and he looked like just fake and ridiculous, and I thought it just looked stupid. Because, like, I mean, it might have been CGI in the first movie at that little split second, but he looked more convincing. Maybe it's just because, like, you're only seeing his face and it was, like, a lot of shadowing. But he just looked better.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of disappointed.
We'll see how it looks. I think he looks pretty good in this. I think he looks real. Like, obviously he's CG, but...
Is it Josh Brolin doing the
it is.
acting on that?
Yes, it's Josh Brolin. You can actually see it in his face.
Yeah, I can tell.
A couple aspects that are interesting, other than just being a fan of the Marvel movies so far, is that there's two things about this movie that have never really been done before. One is the budget. The budget is between this and the next one, like $1 billion. So you want to say maybe like $500 million each. Those are the biggest budgets ever made for a movie.
Okay, I was going to say.
So that's interesting. And then the other thing is like I don't know if there's ever been a movie where like this movie has been built up by other movies for over years to all come to this point.
Yeah.
Which makes it just a huge event for movies. Like, I know they like to use event, that word a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, this one really is.
Well, that's, to me, why the first Avengers was so exciting. Because, I mean, yeah, you literally had, 5 movies before that. And then, like, wow, now all these guys are crossing over. That's why it wasn't so special for me, the second run.
Yeah. Avengers did it first, and that first one was great. I mean, that was really cool seeing all those guys come together.
I have so few gripes about the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
The second one I saw once. I remember thinking it was okay. I just don't remember thinking it was, oh my goodness, that's incredible.
The second one has its issues, but we're still planning on going through these Marvel movies. I don't know if we'll make it in time for Infinity War.
I doubt that.
It's getting pretty close now.
Oh man, there was something I was gonna. What I want to know is, do you think they can do justice to have all these characters? Like, can they give all these characters their proper due?
That's something. Like, how are you going to squeeze everybody in?
I mean, a lot of people.
I don't know the running time of the movie yet. I imagine it's going to be at least 2 hours.
Right. And is it right? I thought I heard that Robert Downey Jr. is basically like, this is kind of it. Like, I get these 2 done, and then that's it.
A lot of them were saying that from before, but a lot of them have changed their minds since.
Okay. Because, I mean, basically, we talked about this before, too. Like, ever since he did Iron Man, I don't think he's done... I think I looked...
He's talked about doing an Iron Man 4.
Yeah, I think I looked it up one time we were talking about it. Since he started doing the first Iron Man, I think he's only been in 8 or 9 movies that have not been Marvel-related.
He's done, like, Sherlock Holmes. He did the one where Robert Duvall was his dad, a judge.
The Judge, I believe. Yeah, and... There was
not a whole lot, just
nothing that too big. The Sherlock Holmes movies did pretty well, I feel like, at the time.
He was in that movie about the Zodiac killer. I don't know if that was before or after Iron Man, though.
I saw that. I think it's actually called Zodiac, but I don't... Yeah, no, he is in it. He's in it. And what's...
Is Mark Ruffalo in that?
Mark Ruffalo's in it. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. That was actually a pretty decent movie.
I saw that and remember liking it. I don't remember it.
We actually just watched it sometime last year, so it wasn't that long ago.
So anyway, there's all sorts of rumors about contracts, but they're trying to keep all that information muddled, so you don't know what's going to happen in these movies. The following week, May 11th, there's a movie coming out. It's interesting only for the title. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot.
Okay.
That's the name of the movie.
Okay.
Is that like a great movie name or what?
Yeah. That's something. What is this? I never heard of it.
It says, on the rocky path to sobriety after a life-changing event, John Callahan discovers the healing power of art, willing his injured hands into drawing hilarious, often controversial cartoons, which bring him a new lease on life.
Who's in it?
Joaquin Phoenix, Jonah Hill, Rooney Mara, and Jack Black. It doesn't... maybe the trailer will make it look interesting, but I think the name is hilarious.
Right.
Also, there's a movie about the Slender Man coming out. Surprised they didn't do that sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like that's kind of dwindled down.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what the Slender Man is, it's no big deal. It's something the internet created, a monster.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it like a hidden little figure in the back of like old black and white pictures, and then people started purposely...
Well, there's a website called Creepypasta where people like invent monsters and stuff like that, and that's where this got started. And the sad thing about it is, like, kids actually claim to see it and they stab each other in real life, and it's just like, what the heck? So
over supposedly seeing a monster, they
said that to please the Slender Man or to summon the Slender Man.
I remember that report where there was like two girls that tricked a third girl to like do something.
So
they killed her, right? Or did they just?
I think they just injured her.
Okay,
but yeah, it's really sick, and that's what they're making the movie about, is girls that see Slender Man. Also that week is Deadpool 2. We just watched a trailer for that.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that trailer?
I didn't even see Deadpool 1.
You didn't see it at all?
No.
Oh,
well, Deadpool.
We'll have to watch that. It's different for a superhero movie. Like, it's a hard R. As you can tell from the trailer.
Yeah.
Let me read you the official synopsis from Fox, okay?
All right.
After surviving a near-fatal bovine attack, a disfigured cafeteria chef, Wade Wilson, struggles to fulfill his dream of becoming Mayberry's hottest bartender, while also learning to cope with his lost sense of taste. Searching to regain his spice for life, as well as a flux capacitor, Wade must battle ninjas, the Yakuza, and a pack of sexually aggressive canines as he journeys around the world to discover the importance of family, friendship, and flavor.
That sounds like... Oh, is that it? I don't know.
Finding a new taste for adventure and earning the coveted coffee mug title of World's Best Lover.
That sounds like... So at my one job... Sometimes I have to write emails I have to adjust all the inventory, and I have to send the inventory sheets to all the drivers. And when Nate, the guy that was teaching me how to do it, he would just write, okay, this is today's pick list, and he would attach the files. And he would never write anything in the subject matter, in the body of the email, I should say. And I remember when I started doing it, I was like, so how come you don't write anything here? He's like, I don't know. I was like, so can I do it? So I would just write the most ridiculous stuff I could think of. It kind of sounds like something I would write.
That was off of IMDb. That is what Fox released as the synopsis of the movie. And that is really in the spirit of what that first movie was. Yeah. Like, if you don't know anything about the character,
I know he breaks the fourth wall in the comics.
He constantly breaks the fourth wall. The way they explain it is he's so crazy that he knows he's a comic book character.
Right.
So they do that a lot in the movies, too. Like, he'll mention stuff from other superhero movies, even the ones that aren't connected to Fox. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a joke about, like, oh, I'm going to talk to Professor X. Somebody says that. Mm-hmm. He's like, which one, McAvoy or Stewart?
Oh, okay.
You know, stuff like that.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but...
He's got a really dirty sense of humor and a really dirty mouth.
Yeah.
He's more of an anti-hero. He doesn't mind killing people.
Right.
In fact, he'd prefer to kill people. Sometimes he's a villain even against the other Marvel superheroes.
Right.
He's also one of the superheroes that a lot of people say is completely unkillable. Because he's like Wolverine where he can heal, but his healing factor is like 1 billion times better. So,
oh, really? Than Wolverine?
The reason he looks weird is because before he got those powers, he was diagnosed with like a cancer that was rapidly spreading. So his body is always fighting that cancer. The cancer is so strong that it keeps coming back, but his body, his regeneration, is always fighting it. So they're just stalemate.
Okay, so is technically
He can have his head cut off and he'll be fine.
Okay, is technically I know it's to even bring this movie up. The second Wolverine solo movie, isn't that technically Deadpool? But they gave him extra powers.
That was in the first Wolverine solo movie. That was Deadpool, also played by Ryan Reynolds.
Right, but they gave him like laser eyes and adamantium blades, and
this is one of my problems with
the teleportation.
Yeah. This is one of the problems with Fox. Is like they have the rights to all these amazing characters that can do all these crazy things, and I can appreciate them wanting to keep it kind of grounded a little bit, like the first two X-Men movies. Like they weren't super over the top. They were like, this is how it'd be if it was more realistic. Mm-hmm. My problem is they change characters' personalities, they change characters' powers, they introduce characters that nobody knows or only hardcore comic book fans knows, and like they don't. When they bring in those new people, I don't even know what they're doing because I don't know their powers. They're just doing things, so that always drives me nuts. Okay, that happened. If I had my way, the only three X-Men movies out right now would be X-Men 1 and 2 and Logan. All the other ones would be gone. First Class was okay. I liked it. But, like...
You didn't like the second Wolverine movie? Where he's, like, in Japan or whatever?
It was okay. I didn't need it, though.
See, I didn't like the third Wolverine movie. The final...
I thought that was an amazing movie. Really? Like, if you wanted to do more of a darker tone... Mm-hmm. Like, DC, like, they start off doing that darker tone with Zack Snyder, and just, like, they can't... I don't know what the problems are with DC exactly, but just, like, something isn't working there. But, like, I went and I saw Wolverine, I'm like, if you wanted to do a dark tone superhero movie, this is it. Like, this is
to me,
great.
It was no fun. It was, I don't know, it was just... I know it wasn't meant to be fun either, but, like...
It was a drama.
There was just nothing Yeah, exactly. It was nothing enjoyable to me about it.
I enjoyed it a lot. So, anyway, Deadpool 2 is coming out. It's funny that... You know, you have Josh Brolin, he's Thanos, which I'm sure will be mentioned in Deadpool 2. Yeah. But you have Josh Brolin also portraying the future character of Cable.
Right, which is funny because they're both Marvel properties. In the movie versions, they're like separate entities in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because right now, 20th Century Fox owns the rights to all the stuff that has to do with mutants. So X-Men, X-Factor, X-Force, anything with an X in the title. Also, they have the Fantastic Four and all the stuff related to them.
Which I still haven't seen their movie, which I heard was terrible, but I was still willing to
I saw part of it.
Okay.
And yeah, it was sucky. But we just recently had that deal. Yeah, Disney is in the process of buying all these 20th Century Fox properties, which means they're going to get their superheroes back. Assuming it all goes through. There's a chance that it might not, but it probably will.
So they'll be getting the X-Men.
Yeah, that process takes about a year, from what I've heard, to finalize. And then on top of that, I know that Fox they're still doing everything they planned on doing. So it might be a little while before they start integrating some of the bigger characters. I don't know exactly how all that's going to work.
So you're saying like the Avengers crew with X-Men, possibly?
Yeah. Like I've even heard like the guy that plays Bucky, the Winter Soldier, going on talking about how he was talking to Hugh Jackman, saying, hey, am I going to be working with you soon? You know, goofing around. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? It should be exciting.
They have to also figure out a way to get Wolverine.
Spoilers. Well, that was off in the future anyway, and like I'm not sure if they're going to reset everything or if they're going to carry some of them over.
X-Men's been kind of a convoluted series.
It's such a mess. That's why I only want it to be the first two, and because like those three will all make sense together without all the crap in between. Like that third one was horrid. The first two Wolverine movies, one was terrible, one was just passable. The new series starting with First Class was okay, but like Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse.
I didn't like it.
I'm tired of
here's the thing, not to get off on that, but like I kind of because I liked First Class so much, I felt like it was a disservice to that, for that to be their sequel, to really like. Okay, let's try to bring in the old cast back to...
They had to do something because the timelines are so messed up, and that third movie was so bad. So I can understand why they did it. So they can, like, all right, let's get back on track.
I think they should at least did one more true first-class sequel, then maybe try to mix the two.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, that's not the point.
I'm more excited about Marvel getting a hold of, like, the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I think that's more interesting. Also, some of the villains that come along with Fantastic Four. Doctor Doom and Galactus is who... Do you know anything about Galactus?
He eats planets, I believe?
He eats planets.
And didn't, like, the Silver Surfer punch him in the face, or...
Silver Surfer was his herald. He would come ahead of time to warn the people on the planet.
The Skull guy.
Oh, Ghost Rider, yeah.
He was able to do something with it.
Yeah. That's back in one of our previous episodes. I mentioned that, and it was pretty funny. So
okay, but yeah. Anyway, Deadpool. I didn't see it, so I'm not too worried about it.
The week after Deadpool 2, on May 25th, we're getting Solo, a Star Wars story. And from what I understand, it's where you should keep your expectations. Solo. Yeah. The trailers actually look not bad.
Yeah.
But the production has been so muddled. They've had directors come and go. They've had to reshoot a bunch of stuff. They had to get an acting coach in for the actor playing Han Solo.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like the coolest thing to me about it was seeing the Millennium Falcon inside look clean, like it was brand new. Like that was kind of cool. Like I was like, oh wow, it's like all clean and white and shiny.
I have, after the past 2 or 3 Star Wars movies, whatever it is, like I don't have any high expectations anymore. 3. From everything I've heard about this one, it sounds like it's a giant mess, and I've actually heard that they're already kind of writing it off. I don't know if it's true or not. Who knows? It could be good. But...
I think Ron Howard's a pretty good director, and I just don't know how much influence he can have at this point. I don't know.
Well, at that point, though, like, even the best director, like, what can they do with a movie that's already, like, 90% shot?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And, I mean, even, I don't know, yeah, even with how it's written, even if he was directing it from scratch, like, if it's written poorly, it's written poorly.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe we should send our man in the field out to go check it out for us and tell us how awesome it is. Dave.
Oh.
So I'm sure Dave's excited for it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I'm sure John, too.
Probably.
John is super...
I mean, yeah, the trailer looked all right, but the scenes I thought didn't work was when he's like, what did he say? Something like, we're all right. Or I thought we were gonna... Like, he's like something like...
Yeah, it's just trying to be like they had some kind of weird experience. He's like, we're fine. We're okay.
Yeah, we're okay. It's just like... trying to be...
I can see that being a young Han Solo, but I just...
Well, Han Solo was never my favorite character.
I am so burnt out on Star Wars, even from the prequels, like all the hype around the prequels, and like they didn't turn out to be the greatest. There's some good things to be said about the prequels. They're not the worst things. Just like after seeing The Force Awakens, I felt like it was a remake, mostly of A New Hope, but just that first trilogy. Like, it felt like just a straight remake to me. And I understand, like, maybe they're like, okay, let's remake it like the original Star Wars, show people that say this isn't going to be like the prequels that are kind of frowned upon. And then we can get into doing some new things. Mm-hmm. But then, just everything since then seems to have failed. So I see people overhype all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's like I want it to be good.
Yeah, like I don't hate Star Wars. Let's do something else. I like the first 3 a lot. They're great movies, and I don't know.
Well, let's see. We're going to at least get... Okay, when I originally first heard about the new Star Wars, we were going to get 3 new main Star Wars, and supposedly 3 spin-offs. One being a solo Han Solo movie.
Well, one was the
Death Star plans.
The sequel to the prequels, which is the prequel to the...
Yes. The other thing was supposed to be, I heard, a Boba Fett movie, but I'm wondering
I think they canceled that idea.
Well, I wonder if Boba Fett will be in this, because think about it, he's been...
There's rumors that he will be.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
So, also coming out... Well, actually, no, this is in June. So that was May 25th. June 8th, we get Ocean's 8. I think you wanted to talk about that one.
So, did you ever watch any of the other ones?
I think I saw the first one.
Okay, I mean, obviously, I know... It was originally a Rat Pack movie in the 60s, I believe, or maybe early 70s, or no, probably late 60s. And then they remade it in the early 2000s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's when I say the original, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. I liked that one. In fact, we just rewatched it last week.
With the one with George Clooney?
George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all that. And then there was like Oceans 12 and 13. Those I didn't really care for.
I'm sure they got worse as they went.
Yeah.
Because the first one was already like way over the top.
Yeah.
It was recently that I saw it. So like I saw it and it's like, I kind of don't want to watch this. But then I ended up watching it. It's like, it's all right for what it is. It's a heist movie.
Yeah.
You know they're going to get away.
Right. I think the second one, the third one I remember not liking.
So this one is an all-female cast. Does it have any...
Yes. Saw, the older guy, is in it. And I also believe Matt Damon's character is in it. And Sandra Bullock's character, I guess, is supposed to be his cousin, which
so-
it sounds like a ridiculous way to connect them.
My thoughts when I read about what it was that it worked so well for Ghostbusters. Why not? That was completely sarcastic. Remember?
Well, okay, this is probably not going to be a popular thing to say, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Okay. I think there's this like stupid trend right now of let's have the woman outsmart the man. I'm not saying I want the man to always outsmart the woman either, but like it's just so overplayed. Like you see this in a lot of TV shows and movies where some woman walks into a bar because she's got to find out where some guy is, and there's all these big tough guys in there, and they all, hey sweetheart, what do you think you're doing here? And then she beats the crap out of all of them, and like, you know, don't call me darling. You know, it's just like, it's so overdone, and
they act like women are treated horribly, like it's the 1950s, they should all be standing in a pan at the oven. It's 2018, people, come on. Like, yeah, what you're saying, like, that's stuff I've heard about the newest Star Wars movie, is that there's a lot of stuff like that, like the women were all in charge and the men were stupid.
Look at the original Star Wars from 1977. At one point, Leia grabs the gun out of Han Solo's hand and starts shooting down the hallway.
Stupid, though, did it?
No, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying basically we've had strong women in movies
you look at
before, and
even
she shoots the opening into the garbage
even these
chute.
Marvel movies. I have no problems with Gamora going around kicking people's butt. I have no problems with Scarlett Johansson going around kicking people's butts. That's fine. But then, like, you get stuff
right,
like...
but when basically the woman's always outsmarting the man.
Yeah,
or,
like
that
was one of my problems with Arrival. That's what I've heard about the new Star Wars. That's what I think is probably going to happen with that movie we just talked about. With, what's her face in it, where they go into the bubble.
Oh, Annihilation.
Annihilation. That's what Annihilation looks like. Oh, a team of soldiers couldn't handle it. Let's send in a team of female scientists. It's not like it has nothing against women.
It's just
sounds,
gone the other way.
Yeah.
Like I understand that obviously back in the day, all the women in movies were,
men are stupid
but it's just basically going from one extreme to another.
Men are stupid and violent and act without thinking, and women are smart and.
I heard that was especially overdone in the Ghostbusters.
The new Ghostbusters, like from the clips I've seen, was completely horrible. It's just like men and women are different, but neither one is better than the other. Why can't it just be like a mixed cast? I just don't get it.
We'll see how that goes. I'm not interested in seeing it. I just thought it was worth mentioning because I did like first remake one.
Yeah. So I'm not too interested in that one.
Yeah.
This is one I might see when it comes out on video. The original title I got for it was "Won't You Be My Neighbor?"
Oh, about Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, it's a biopic about Mr. Rogers, and I think they got Tom Hanks to play Mr. Rogers, which is, I guess, a good casting choice. I think they may have titled it differently now. Maybe it's called "You Are My Friend."
Okay.
Which sounds creepy. I don't think there's nothing wrong with the title "Won't You Be My Neighbor" for a Mr. Rogers movie, but whatever. So that's on June 8th. On June 15th, we have The Incredibles 2, which is all you.
Yeah, this is there's two that I'm really excited for this year. One was The Quiet Place, and this is the other one. I am a huge fan of the original Incredibles, and that's one I've been waiting for.
Is that a Pixar movie?
It is. Okay. It's, to me, it's their second best. After Toy Story, to me, it goes right to The Incredibles. It's the best Pixar movie. There's a lot of people say that they think that The Incredibles was one of the better superhero movies ever, and that it's something that basically X-Men and various Watchmen, especially, that what they should have done right is what The Incredibles. Yeah,
you keep saying I have to watch it.
Brandon's never seen it. I don't want to say. I actually told him specifically, don't watch the trailer because it kind of spoils some things that.
That's one of my suspects for your mystery movie too, by the way.
Wrong. Because I actually theorize, not to get off on that, but on the mystery movie, I assume it's something you probably have once.
Okay.
But anyway, no, I'm extremely excited. This is one that I've been waiting for. I can't believe that we have 3 of these Cars movies, and just now are getting the Incredibles.
Yeah, it's something I'll probably eventually get around to. It'd probably be easier if I had a kid, so I had a better excuse to watch some of these movies.
Honestly, I don't even think...
I know.
Like, Cars is the Pixar kids movie. And all of them kind of can be kids' movies, but Cars is really the kids' movie of Pixar. Mm-hmm. But The Incredibles is just a great movie. When
did the first one come out?
I want to say 2004.
So it's been a while.
It's got Craig T. Nelson,
Oh, yeah.
coach.
He's getting up there, isn't he, now? He's probably in his 70s at least.
Man. He was also in a Parenthood, which was based off the movie.
I wasn't aware he was ever in a TV show.
Shut up. Well, yeah, of course he was in Coach too, but he was in the Parenthood TV show. That was a good show.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited for it, and we'll have to put that on the list here real soon because you do.
I hate that we're so down, or like me, like I'm not excited about a lot of these big things. But the next movie to come out on June 22nd is Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom. Now you and
Jurassic
Dave,
World?
yeah, whatever. you and Dave liked Jurassic World. You guys gave it a pretty good review.
I feel, I know you don't. I feel that for Jurassic Park that it was the best sequel because I didn't really care for 2 and
Yeah,
I know it was. Well, here's the thing. Here's my problem with the Jurassic Park sequels. Even this goes back to the first one. Every movie's about them trying to set up a park, but it never happens. It was finally, okay, we have a park that's up and running, been running well for 10, 15, whatever years. It's working. So it was kind of finally cool to say, okay, there's a bunch of people on this island for something to go wrong instead of like, oh, there's only a handful of people trying to get this park to happen. So it was just, I know that you had a lot of, there's a lot of things. It wasn't as good as the original, of course not, but I liked it. It was a fun movie.
This one, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably see it. The trailers don't do a whole lot. This seems kind of weird.
No, I agree. This one doesn't
the...
look as good, and it's like, so he's going back to rescue this one dinosaur. What's he going to do? Take it to his house and, like, what do you... Yeah, okay, you kind of raised it like a dog.
I don't know. It
great,
seems like the dinosaurs are getting off the island in this one. There's some kind of catastrophe coming, whether man-made or natural. It's either a volcano or they're going to blow it up.
From the trailer, it sounds like it's a volcano, but I guess I didn't think enough like of her and her for them to come back, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
And I know they're bringing Ian Malcolm back.
Jeff Goldblum's in it.
But yeah.
I like Jeff Goldblum a lot.
Sure.
I like his character in Jurassic Park a lot.
I kind of at least think it'd be cool if they could also get...
Maybe, who knows?
Wow.
They were together in... they were kind of together. They weren't in the same scene, but they were both in Thor.
Yeah, I remember you...
I don't know. There's parts of the trailer that look stupid to me, but we'll see how it is. There was something I was going to say about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like, okay, they worked fine. Like, because, okay, he was like... She was like a park manager, and he was, what was he?
I have the synopsis here for it, so I might as well read that.
All right.
After the demise of Jurassic World theme park on Isla Nublar, the dinosaurs roam freely on the island for 4 years until impending... When do these movies take place?
Jurassic World? I mean, I always assumed that the Jurassic Park movies take place the year they released, because there's nothing...
Well, didn't Jurassic World come out in, like, 2015? So this takes place 4 years later, so this is at least in the future, then. I don't know. So anyway, island for 4 years until impending volcanic eruption, so yep, threatens to end them. Claire and the former park manager has now founded the Dinosaur Protection Group, an organization...
Okay, that sounds ridiculous.
...dedicated to saving the dinosaurs. She recruits Owen Grady, who's Chris Pratt, a former dinosaur trainer who worked at the park, to help her rescue the remaining dinosaurs from the island. Owen also tries to find Blue, the last remaining of the 4 raptors he trained. But he and Claire learn about a conspiracy that could result in dinosaurs becoming the Earth's dominant animals once again. Well, that just kind of killed it for me.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I'm not super pumped about. It might be one of those things that... Maybe if someone...
We were just talking about, like, the feminism agenda kind of pushing in the movies a little bit, or feeling like it's there. How much you want to bet this one is about, like, global warming and saving polar bears or something like that? I'm going to call that right now, that's going to be, like, a backdrop to the movie.
Okay.
So anyway, so there's that. I'm sure a lot of people are excited about it. After that, the next interesting movie that I see is on Friday, July 6th, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Which, this comes out after Infinity War. Ant-Man is going to be in Infinity War for I don't know how much of the movie he's going to be in.
Right. This is the first movie after that.
I don't know if this is going to take place before the events of Infinity War or after. Because in the trailers, it didn't seem like they mentioned it, and it's going to be a huge thing, the Infinity War. So it seems like that would be part of it, unless they're just not showing it to us yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure when this takes place exactly. John's going to be happy. The bad guy in it is Walton Goggins. He's a pretty cool actor. He's pretty funny. He's in a show that I like called Vice Principals on HBO.
Oh, I've heard him mention that, yeah.
He's kind of a goofy guy. He's going to play a character named Sonny Birch, and I don't know who Sonny Birch is, so I went and I looked him up. Let's see. I'll read the premise first, and then I'll tell you who Sonny Birch is. So the premise for the movie is set after the events of Captain America's Civil War, so I guess it might take place before Infinity War. Scott Lang tries to balance his home life as a father with his responsibilities as Ant-Man. When Hope Van Dyne and Hank Pym present him with a new mission to bring to light secrets from their past, requiring him to team up with Van Dyne as the new Wasp. Yeah, they're pulling him back in. She's the Wasp now. Her mother was the original Wasp. And I think I've heard something like they got maybe Michelle Pfeiffer to play her mom, so her mom's actually going to be in this one. I don't know if they pull her out of whatever dimension she slipped into or what. Because you remember, like, she kept shrinking. So she's infinitely shrinking. The same thing that happened to Paul Rudd at the end of the movie.
Oh.
So she's somewhere in a micro... They call it the micro-universe in the comics.
Oh.
It's actually a place with living things and stuff. So...
Wouldn't you eventually die?
I don't know.
Well, because I'm thinking, okay, if you just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, one, you still got to have food and water. So, like, I don't see how you could be alive still. And two, would you be able to breathe?
I don't know.
If your lungs are... I don't know how that works.
I don't know, but I do know that the smallest living animal on the planet, its nickname is Micro Bear, or Water Bear. Have you ever heard about it? Yeah. They're, like, indestructible. They live...
Yeah, they can survive in the vacuum of space or something like that.
So maybe there's something to that. Like, the smaller you are, the more durable you can be. So, I mean, they kind of say that in the movie. Like, they say he's basically a bullet when he's small. So he's got to be careful.
Kind of like, because anything that could... If you threw a pebble off the Empire State Building or whatever, it could, you know...
So anyway, my notes on Sonny Birch. This is kind of funny. I didn't know that George Lucas had a Mexican brother. The character was created by Jackson Miller and Jorge Lucas. So anyway, first appeared in Iron Man Volume 3 in December of 2003. So he's a new character. Sonny Birch worked for Cross Technological Enterprises as the Undersecretary of Acquisition, Technology and Logistics. When Tony Stark lost the patent to his armor after revealing his identity to the public, Birch picked it up in an attempt to improve his own and hopefully become the next Secretary of Defense, a position Stark himself would also run for. Despite this, he lacked the knowledge, care, or even competence to fully understand the tech, and it usually failed. Birch would cover his mistakes with money or by blaming his own workers. Birch's flair for adverting blame finally came to an end while attempting to demonstrate his new weapons for the government, which were made with the Stark technology. Everything fell apart, causing the death of several pilots and destruction of valuable property. With nowhere to escape, Birch stole a gun and shot himself. So that's a pretty grim ending there. Yeah. But like, it sounds like it could end up being kind of a kind of a comedic villain in a way, where he's going to constantly fail and blame other people and whine and cry about stuff. Which I don't know much about Walton Goggins outside of Vice Principals, but if you've seen him in that, that would fit him perfectly. You got a brief glimpse of him in the trailer wearing that weird suit. It almost looked like he was wearing a hood, and he had like almost a Star Wars mask on or something. Yeah. Looked like a sand person. Yeah. Except in white. I'm kind of excited about it. I enjoyed the first one. It wasn't the greatest Marvel movie, but it was good. Yeah. It sounds like they're kind of keeping it maybe a little bit more smaller and contained again. No pun intended.
Yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
Coming out the following week, Hotel Transylvania 3. Have you seen any of this? No. I guess they're CG movies for kids with a horror theme, which is cool. Skyscraper, that's one you wanted to talk about.
Only that it seems so much like a Die Hard ripoff. You got my favorite actor ever, The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, so basically it's something about, tallest skyscraper and most advanced. It's, got like super, security protocol things, and he's like a security expert.
It's described as a hostage action thriller set in China.
Right. So
it's one of these movies that are coming out that are pandering to Chinese audiences, so it makes a lot of money overseas. So they don't care what we think about it because there's more people in China.
I guess. But basically,
It looked. I saw like the teaser for it where he's like holding onto the side of the building or something, and like he's like his tie or something. He's holding on to something and it's ripping, and he's up on the skyscraper. It just looked ridiculous. It reminded me of the movie that came out. I think Colin Farrell was in it. I think it's called Phone Booth or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Where he's stuck in the phone booth, and I think that was the entire movie.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but I heard that people were annoyed by that.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that this movie is going to be a lot of him on the side of this skyscraper or climbing it or doing whatever.
I know that basically, like, he only has, like, one leg because, like, he was in the military or something. But, again, it's to me trying to do the original Die Hard, but just action it up. Like, by having bigger sets, bigger scenes of him, like, having to, like...
Whatever. If it does well, then fine. That's cool. I'm not super interested in it right now.
No.
The following week, there's a movie called Alita Battle Angel. So if anybody out there is
I saw that trailer, yeah.
Anime fan, they'll like that. I think I've seen...
Are you an anime fan?
I used to be more than I am now.
Yeah.
I kind of like some of it. Not really as much anymore. I've been around too many people that are like so into it, like where they're talking about composers and stuff. I'm like, there's nobody cares about people in Japan do not care about the stuff that you're talking about. Like, why are you such a nerd about it? Anyway, so yeah, if anybody's into that, I think I saw one of the Battle Angel movies on tape a long time ago. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
No.
So like apparently there was a demand to watch old people sing. Mission Impossible. When I put this together, they didn't have the title yet, but the title is Fallout.
Which is
thoughts?
Well, this is the 6th movie for the movies.
And this is coming out on July 27th.
I have 6, but...
Oh, this weird. We got 2 different lists. So, it's coming out in July regardless.
Okay.
To me, it just looks like...
What do you feel about the Mission Impossible?
It just looks like more of the same. Okay. I didn't really watch any other ones, so I'm probably not going to see this one.
I remember watching the first one when it came out, and...
Henry Cavill looks like a cool bad guy. That's the most I got out of the trailer.
So... the first one was all right. The second one I didn't like. The third one I didn't like. I know a lot of people liked the third, but the fourth one I liked a lot. I wasn't expecting to really like it. I remember we went to. Was
that the one that took place in China? I remember he was climbing a skyscraper in China. Speaking of the Rock.
I think it's actually like India or not India, but Dubai. Is that how you say it?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they go to China in that one.
Okay.
Anyway, so I remember we went to like a family function. I didn't really want to be there, and we were like finally went to leave, and we were like, oh, let's go see a movie, and like there was nothing really all that interesting place except for the 4th Mission Impossible, which was Ghost Protocol. And I remember going to see it just like, okay, this sounds better than everything else, and I loved it. And I was waiting, really excited for the next one, and it was okay. It wasn't as good. So I don't know, this I'm not, for some reason, I really think they hit the right chords with the 4th one. I'm not expecting this one to be great. It might be all right. I thought it was funny. There's that one scene where it looks like they're in a bathroom. It reminds me of Schwarzenegger.
The Sixth Day.
Spies. True Lies.
True Spies.
True Lies. Do you remember in True Lies where there's that big bathroom fight scene?
I don't remember.
Okay, it's where he has the cigarette pack that has a little camera on it. Okay,
I don't remember a whole lot about that. Okay. Movie. I remember Convertible and Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's another good movie. We should cover that. So anyway, there's a scene I saw in the trailer. It just kind of reminded me of True Lies, the big bathroom fight scene. But anyway, I don't know. It might be all right. Ving Rhames, he was in the first movie. Then I think he's in every movie, but some of them he's a bigger role. I actually
they showed him in the trailer.
Right, he's in this because he was in the 5th one, big, and the 6th one, obviously. But the 4th one, he only just had a very small part. And see, that was my problem with like the third. The second, the third movie, so it was like Ethan Hunt, he's the main guy, Tom Cruise, but then like all his little crew, they're just kind of nobodies. There's nothing special about them. In the 4th movie, they gave all his other team members like something unique about them, like something like a motive for doing what they're doing, or like some kind of purpose or some kind of backstory. And that's also a reason why I liked that one better. The 4th one, the one girl that they introduced in the 4th movie, she didn't come back for the 5th movie, and it doesn't look like she's back for the 6th one either.
Okay.
And it just, I know, I liked that little crew he had. And
so you're looking forward to this?
I mean, I'm not like dying to see it, but like I'll keep it on my radar, keep watching for it, see how it looks.
See how it goes. I heard they got better as they went. I remember I saw most of the first one or parts of the first one, and I just wasn't caring for it. Yeah. I think in my mind, I kept comparing it to James Bond because, I'm the big Bond fan, especially between us. Yeah,
I'm really
and
not,
I love James Bond, and I watch this, and I'm like, I'd rather watch a Bond movie. So,
okay.
Never been into them. Also, yeah, go ahead.
I think, well, at least the older Bond movies, they seemed a little more far-fetched, which I'm not saying this isn't far-fetched. Granted, it is, but maybe
I'm going to get you to watch some of them. We'll start.
Oh, man.
Some of them are more serious than others.
The only the only Bond actor or movies that I would feel most connected to, if the sound...
You'd watch the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Right, because that was the ones when
we were
brand new.
Yeah.
So he would be... And plus, I remember I liked GoldenEye, or not GoldenEye, the Everything or Nothing, the PS2 game.
Okay, yeah. Well, the GoldenEye game for Nintendo
that was based off him
was
too.
huge too. Yeah.
But I remember playing that at Dave's house, but I especially liked Everything or Nothing.
Yeah, John liked that one too. You played that with John, didn't you?
GoldenEye?
No, the Everything.
Oh, Everything. Yeah.
Me and my friends, we all had played GoldenEye. So also coming out that weekend is Teen Titans Go. I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's a animated Teen Titans movie. What I thought was kind of interesting about it was it's an animated movie with the Teen Titans, and I guess basically it's kind of a fourth wall thing where like they find out that all the other superheroes in the DC universe are getting movies made about them, so they want a movie made about them.
You said it's animated, you said?
Yeah. It says, when the Teen Titans find out that other DC superheroes seem to have films produced, they seek out the perfect director for their debut on the big screen, but an old foe has other ideas planned for them. So it's kind of a neat idea for kids, I guess.
Yeah.
It seems kind of funny. The following week after that, something we're both going to be interested in is The Predator.
So what's funny is I looked at your screen, I saw that, I totally forgot they were doing another Predator movie. Totally forgot about that.
It sounds like it might be, I don't know if it's a reboot or a sequel. Let's see.
I believe it's a sequel.
It's an upcoming American science fiction action horror film directed by Shane Black and written by Black.
Who he was in the first movie.
Yeah, it is the fourth installment in the Predator film series, set to take place between Predator 2 and Predators from 2010.
Okay.
Shane Black had a supporting role in the original 1987 Predator film. It's going to be starring Boyd Holbrook, Olivia Munn, Trevante Rhodes, Keegan-Michael Key. Wow, that's a strange casting. Sterling K. Brown, Jacob Tremblay, Yvonne Stravsky, Alfie Allen, and Thomas Jane.
I only know Munn and Keen.
One by one they go missing, skin bodies are found. And then when the only survivor of a previous beast encounter appears, who do you think that might be?
Hopefully Arnie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, maybe they'll bring Danny Glover in.
Yeah, if the next best choice would be Danny Glover.
Him and maybe they can get a little cameo from Mel Gibson.
We never saw Billy die. It could be him. He's still running around in the jungle somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'll be interested to see, but there's no really...
it looks like it's kind of a... What do they call it in the TV world? It's called a bottle show. Or a bottle episode, they would call it. Like, it looks like a lot of it's taking place like on a bus or a...
Oh, I hope.
Like it's very
was there a trailer out already? Because I didn't see
I
one.
saw a still shot. Where
Okay.
it looks like they're all like on a... Like almost like a bus or something that would transport prisoners.
That reminds me of like Jeepers Creepers 2, and that movie was horrible.
Yeah.
The whole thing was on a school bus.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I'll be definitely interested to keep my eye open.
I've never been... For the most part, I've never been a huge fan of movies that have very limited settings. I like my movie to move around.
Yeah.
An exception to that would be the second Cloverfield movie, where most of it takes place inside John Goodman's bunker.
Right.
But, like, Reservoir Dogs, a lot of people like that movie. The whole thing takes place in, like, a warehouse, and just... I don't know. I was like, that's it? Really? There's a few of those movies like that where, like, the setting never really changes.
Yeah.
I kind of annoy.
I can understand.
I think done right.
Yeah.
It could be more interesting. Equalizer 2, I never saw the first one. The Spy Who Dumped Me. It's got Mila Kunis in it, I believe. Yeah, Mila Kunis. Her and her friend, one of them was dating an ex-spy. He comes back into their life and while people are chasing him, so it sounds like a date movie, I guess. There's a Barbie movie coming out.
Yeah.
Scarface.
Never saw the original.
Friday, August 10th is what I have for Scarface 2018. It is apparently a remake, I guess. When I first saw that, I thought, how stupid. Like, that movie doesn't need to be remade. But apparently it's being remade by the Coen brothers.
Okay.
And I love the Coen brothers, so that at least intrigues me.
Okay.
Coen brothers are famous for doing Big Lebowski, Fargo, Men Who... well, I don't know about the Men Who... No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, that's the one I mostly know.
So...
Okay.
I like the Coen brothers. It kind of surprises me that... Well, I guess they did a remake before with True Grit. Because I know they don't like to do sequels. So I guess they're cool with remakes, but not sequels. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of info on it. Here's another one that looking out. Friday, August 17th. The Happy Time Murders. Did you look into this one at all?
I don't know. I don't think I heard of that.
The Happy Time Murders is an upcoming American puppet comedy thriller film directed by Brian Henson. The film stars Melissa McCarthy, Bill Beretta, Maya Rudolph, Joel McHale, and Elizabeth Banks. In a world where puppets coexist with humans as second-class citizens, puppet private eye and disgraced ex-cop Phil Phillips is hot on the trail of a serial killer who murdered his brother and is now targeting the cast members of a famous 80s television series, The Happy Time Gang. As the killings continue, Phil's former flame, Jenny, is next on the list. It's up to Phil and his ex-partner, Detective Edwards, who's Melissa McCarthy, to find the culprit. But as bad blood and old resentments resurface, the clues start pointing to the only viable suspect, Phil himself. Now he's on the run, with only his wits and hard-headed determination, as he and his partner attempt to solve the Happy Time murders. That just sounds weird, doesn't it?
Yes.
It sounds like a cross between Roger Rabbit and The Fugitive.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a good comparison.
So I don't know. They're using some pretty grim language, serial killer and murder.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be more lighthearted than that, but I don't know. It doesn't say... I mean, Brian Henson, so that's the same company, the Henson Company, it does Muppets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like a Muppet movie.
No,
it just sounds like a movie that has Muppet-style puppets in it. I'll be intrigued to find out more about it. I like, noir, like detective stuff is cool, mysteries. It sounds so odd. I liked when... I don't know if you've seen Labyrinth and... Okay, and...
Labyrinth, yes, I never seen... What's
The Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal.
Those were Jim Henson movies that were a little more on the darker side, especially The Dark Crystal.
Yeah, I know they're going to do a Netflix series.
I forgot all about that. I need to look into that. That might be coming out this year.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing a teaser for it.
I'm interested in watching that. I've always wanted to.
Well, we'll cover it eventually.
Okay. I know it's like one of the ones that doesn't have any... Like, it's all creatures.
Yeah, so this
one... Labyrinth had people.
This one sounds like something. I like Elizabeth Banks. Not a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. So we'll check out the trailer when it comes out. All right. And then if we skip forward to September 21st, there's another Robin Hood movie coming out. I guess there was a need for a 600th Robin Hood movie.
Didn't they just do one a few years ago with Russell Crowe?
There's so many Robin Hood movies, I'm sure.
Right, but I mean, within the last 10 years, there's been a Robin Hood. Like, wasn't it only like a few years ago?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
It was Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
maybe 7 years ago.
And then there was one, wasn't there one with The Postman, Waterworld?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that was in the early 90s.
I know there's been several made-for-TV Robin Hood. Like, is there a big demand for Robin Hood stories? Like, do people really care? I guess Game of Thrones is huge right now, so, I mean, medieval thing is in, but, like, that's more of a fantasy with, like, monsters and stuff in it.
Right.
So, I don't know. Also, coming out that weekend, this one just had a fun name, The House with a Clock in Its Wall. It sounds like a kid's movie, like Goosebumps, like a kid's horror movie.
Yeah.
Which I think it also has Jack Black in it. Yeah, it does. But it is not a Goosebumps movie. I think they're actually making another Goosebumps movie, or they did make a second one. There is a movie about a kid who finds King Arthur's sword coming out September 28th.
Okay.
The kid who would be king, and he finds King Arthur's sword. It's some kind of adventure movie.
Okay.
This one I thought looked fun. It's a 3D computer animated comedy film from Warner Brothers, I guess, the animation group. It's called Smallfoot.
I heard of this one.
The film stars Channing Tatum, Zendaya from Spider-Man, I guess.
Okay.
James Corden, LeBron James, Gina Rodriguez, Danny DeVito, a few other people. But basically it's about a Yeti who is convinced that the elusive creatures known as Smallfoots exist, which are basically humans.
Yeah.
So that sounded pretty funny to me.
Yeah.
That might be a fun one to take kids to. Venom comes out on Friday, October 5th. Do you know anything about that?
No, we watched the trailer before we started recording. So I always thought that Venom attached to Peter Parker first, then went to Eddie Brock. So because he kind of took on the form of Spider-Man's costume, right? Didn't he kind of like even like doesn't Venom kind of have his own like web in a way?
Yeah.
Can he shoot web? And
Without Spider-Man involved, I don't know how they would do it.
So he may not necessarily look like, because like he has like the big eyes like Spider-Man.
The way I think that they're doing this movie is
he has a Spider-Man logo, right?
It's taking place on the West Coast, first of all.
Yeah.
So completely away from Peter Parker. However, there are rumors going around that Tom Holland has been seen on the set, and when they asked him about it, he's like, I'm not allowed to say anything. So I don't know if he's going to be in it and to what extent. I also don't know how connected it's going to be to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right. And how this is affected
maybe
by
they'll
the
have
deal with
him,
Sony.
Andrew Garfield, make that.
So we'll see where it goes. That'll be interesting. But I want the Eddie Brock I know that you know from like the cartoons and comic books. The one that's like
he was Peter's rival with
he was another photographer at the Daily Bugle. Didn't get along with Peter Parker. Got the suit on him after it left Peter.
Right.
And then they ended up using each other, him in the suit, him in the symbiote.
Yeah.
But I think from the sounds of this one, he's going to be like an ex-military guy. He might be part of some experiment to make a super soldier or something. And then they have like maybe 5 of these, up to 5 of these like symbiotes. And basically he'll have to go and either fight the other 5 or maybe Carnage will be involved somehow. I would love to see Carnage in a movie, but I don't know about this one. We'll see as more news and trailers come out. They've kept a lot of it under wraps.
Yeah.
Especially with whatever tie-ins it may or may not have to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm thinking what they may do is like they're just going to have it distanced, and if it does well, then they'll be like, okay, let's bring it in.
But I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, so I don't know. First Man, that's another superhero. No, it's something about, let's see. I remember thinking it sounded interesting. Oh, yeah, First Man, it is kind of a superhero. So Friday, October 12th, a movie called First Man is coming out. It's actually a biopic about Neil Armstrong.
Okay.
So that might be interesting.
Yeah.
There's also a movie coming out that same weekend called Hellfest, which doesn't sound interesting at all, but that name is awesome. Like, what kind of a name is Hellfest? Goosebumps 2 is also coming out, so yeah. That's right. Mowgli, a live-action Jungle Book movie, even though they just made... Whatever. They just made a live-action Jungle Book movie, so I don't think it's the same people. I think it's different people.
Right.
This one is going to be directed by Andy Serkis, so that's interesting. Would I say that was Friday, October 19th? Also, we're getting the Halloween movie, which skips all the other movies except for either the first one or the first 2. And it's being written by Danny McBride. So that's interesting. You don't usually associate Danny McBride with horror.
Right.
He was in the Alien movie that came out last year. Yeah. That was last year, right? Alien,
I think so.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah, you covered it on your channel.
Yeah, that's right. You know more about it than I do. So, John Carpenter, I know, is supposed to be coming back to do the music, and he's producing it and stuff. He's more interested in this one. He sounds really interested in this than anything else, so, I mean, there's a chance it might be good. All right, Friday, October 26th, Overlord. Do you have any notes for this one?
I do not.
Overlord is an upcoming American supernatural horror film directed by Julius Avery. The film was written by Billy Ray, not Cyrus.
Don't tell me how I can break your heart.
And Mark L. Smith. The film stars Jovan Adepo, Jacob Anderson, Pilu.
What?
Pilu
I thought they said Pimu.
Pilu Asbeek? I don't know. They can't...
You don't need to say their
There's
names.
so many
it doesn't matter.
Foreign actors now. They're foreign names anyway.
It doesn't matter.
I haven't heard of any of these people. Yeah. So anyway, J.J. Abrams is a producer. It's being released by Bad Robot. It's reported that the film will serve as the 4th installment of the Cloverfield series. And it's supposed to be in 1944, 2 American paratroopers are shot down over Normandy in the midst of the D-Day invasion, and they discover that the Nazis are using supernatural forces against them.
Sounds like a lot of movies.
You mean with the Nazis?
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff with the Iron Sky and whatever.
If this is one that they're actually putting effort into and not just purchasing and slapping crap into, then it sounds like it could be really interesting. But after what happened with Cloverfield Paradox, I'm cautious. The premise sounds neat in a way. It's kind of funny that they're releasing 2 Cloverfield movies in a year. Yeah. I've been waiting for that because more and more they're like, all right, we're going to make these movies at the same time. Yeah. Which makes sense. We have all our actors together now, let's just film both movies if we're going to be doing sequels, Why wait a full year, a couple years to release them? Like, when they did Lord of the Rings, I thought it would have been really cool. Maybe it would have been, they would have gotten, Lord of the Rings fatigue or something or whatever, but, they came out one a year. But they had them all done. Why not release one, let it play for a few months, then a month later, while it's still fresh in everyone's head, do the second one? Why not? I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason that they don't do that, but I always thought that would be kind of neat. Any thoughts on Cloverfield 4?
I'm just interested to see how they connect.
Because this one doesn't sound like...
Because it seems like the first one, the third one...
What they tried to do...
The second one.
Yeah, what they tried to explain in the third one doesn't sound like it affects this fourth one, so... I'm happy erasing that third one from the franchise, but we'll get into that when we do a Cloverfield episode. Yeah. So following after that, on November 2nd, we're getting X-Men Dark Phoenix. Not really looking forward to it. We've had Phoenix before, and they messed it up so bad.
I just don't care enough about it.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it. The only thing I'm looking forward to is when Disney takes over and they quit doing those. There is a live-action Mulan that they're working on because they're doing all their movies in live action. Dr. Seuss The Grinch, which is going to be a CG movie coming out on November 9th.
Any Dr. Seuss, after how poorly the Cat in the Hat one was, live action, all the movies have to be.
Okay.
So, we'll get at it. It's basically, it's...
Okay. Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of somebody or other. This thing just popped up in my mind. Grindelwald? I don't know. The note that I wrote down, I didn't even write down the synopsis. I wrote more Harry Potter crap. I actually saw a little bit of the other Fantastic Beasts movie that came out. It was playing on the TV when I turned it on, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is because it looks so stupid. And then after a while, I figured out that's what it was. But
I didn't grow up with Harry Potter, but Brittany did, so I ended up seeing all those because of her. And I actually kind of like some of them. Fantastic Beasts wasn't great. Hopefully they can... It didn't turn out as well as I would have. Because I do think it is an interesting universe they have.
What's her name that writes those books?
J.K. Rowling?
Yeah. She just seems like the most arrogant piece of crap, and I'm just not interested in any of her material that she's stolen from other people.
I don't know. I don't care enough.
Anyway, there's another movie that came out. I'm not interested in the movie. I have, no opinions on it. It's called Widows. Okay. Coming out at the same time. Widows is an upcoming heist thriller film directed by Steve McQueen. I thought he was dead.
So did I.
But anyway, it's about 4 armed robbers who are killed in a heist attempt, and their widows step up and decide to do the heist. Okay. After that, I don't. Whatever. I have no real opinion on it. But what was funny when I was looking this up, I kept misreading it. So I thought it was Windows. And I'm like, are they making a movie about Microsoft Windows? What is going on here? And it took me until
What's funny is for the distance I'm looking at it, I thought it was like Windows 2.
Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph 2 coming out in November. I didn't see the first one. It sounded interesting. I know we were just bashing Ready Player One, but this is an animated movie and it's supposed to be ridiculous. So, Friday, December 14th, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is an animated Spider-Man movie without Peter Parker in it. It's a character called Miles Morales, who I don't care about.
I think Peter Parker's in it.
Well, maybe, because it's a bunch of...
all the Peter Parkers coming together.
Yeah, it's all these Spider-Man from different universes, so Peter Parker might be in it, but it's about Miles Morales. I saw a trailer for it, and the animation looked really horrible. I couldn't believe it. It was super choppy. It looked laggy. So maybe Mortal Engines. This is one that you had for December 14th.
It's because it's so... Not that I'm interested. It's just so goofy looking. It's... I know it's based off books.
Is it?
Or a book, or...
Based on the novel of the same name. It's on there.
And I know it's directed by Peter Jackson, or he's producing it or something.
Yeah, I think he's producing it.
And it's this weird concept where, for whatever reasons, they've basically, like, cities are now on wheels.
Yeah, this is what the synopsis says.
And they drive around and...
An American-New Zealand co-production, the film is set in a post-apocalyptic steampunk world where entire cities have been mounted on wheels and motorized and prey on one another. It sounds like an extremely over-the-top Mad Max.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's better for a city to be on wheels and why they're all on wheels and then they gobble.
I don't know. There's something about those Australian and New Zealand post-apocalyptic movies where they're obsessed with cars and motorcycles.
There is a trailer for it, and basically, like, there's a
trailer for it already?
There's a trailer for it. And so basically, I mean, it's a teaser. It just shows that the city that the main character's on gets gobbled up by London. Because, like, basically, like, it has, like, a big opening.
Ridiculous.
And there's, like, a big hook that comes out, and they literally pull the smaller city in. And
it sounds so ridiculous.
I just don't get it. It just, it seems ridiculous.
I'm going to have to watch the trailer just because, like...
Yeah, I don't think it's going to...
Yeah. Okay, so Friday, December 21st, we didn't think there was an actual DC movie coming out, but Aquaman.
I can tell you Dave will say it was great.
Dolph Lundgren and...
Oh, really?
Dolph Lundgren and Nicole Kidman will be supporting characters.
Which is funny because he was a Punisher at one point.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. It's funny, Thomas Jane is going to be in the Predator movie, and he was also a Punisher.
Okay.
He was in the one from, like, 2005.
Oh, yeah. And William Dafoe was obviously in Spider-Man.
Yeah. So there's some interesting actors that'll be showing up, but I don't know. I gave up on DC, honestly.
I'm still willing to watch them. I just haven't got around to doing it. I'm not willing to pay money for it. I'm willing to watch Justice League and Suicide Squad.
So
I'm not expecting anything of it.
Yeah, well, we'll eventually, I'm sure. Yeah. So coming out that same weekend, everybody and their mother was so happy when not too long ago they announced, all right, that's the last Transformers film, no more.
Oh, man.
So also coming out with Aquaman is another Transformers movie about Bumblebee. I finally saw the first Transformers movie. I saw the Riff Tracks version of it, and even with them making fun of it, it was still so stupid that I wanted to just put my head in the trash can and light it on fire. I do not care for those movies.
And here's the thing. The first Transformers, to me, is actually the best one, so you just saw the best one.
I can't imagine.
No,
so
you did.
After that, the last two movies of the year, one seems interesting, the other one seems like a cash grab. Bohemian Rhapsody is about the group Queen. It's a biopic, so that might be interesting. And then Mary Poppins Returns. It's a direct sequel to the 60s movie.
Right.
And it sounds like a bummer, too. Like, let's see. Stars Emily Blunt. Mm-hmm. So I imagine she's Mary Poppins.
Yep.
And the Mary Poppins, 25 years after the 1964 film. So it's going to take place in 1989. Will feature Mary Poppins, the former nanny of Jane and Michael Banks, revisiting them after a family tragedy. What? Okay. Whatever, if you want to make your movie a downer. So that's pretty much the year. Was there anything that stood out to you? Like I said, if you like comic book movies, this is going to be a good year for you. And if you read a lot of crappy books, this is going to be a good year for you.
Like I said, for me, the big ones are The Incredibles 2 and A Quiet Place. However, the Avengers trailer did look pretty good. I'm not peeing my pants about it, but it might be something to see.
What movies are you looking forward to? Did we leave any out? Is there anything
I don't think we did. You listed like everything.
I skipped a lot of them, but yeah, I mentioned all the big ones. Yeah. So, what movies look exciting to you? Did we miss anything? Is there something you wanted us to mention that we didn't? Do you disagree with us heavily on our opinions, which I'm sure a lot of people do?
Yeah.
If you feel like writing to us, we're always open. So, send us to our Gmail. You can also contact us on Facebook and YouTube. All the links are in descriptions, although now on Podomatic you may not be able to click them, correct?
Yeah, that is unfortunately a thing. The links in Podomatic I don't think work. So basically, Facebook and YouTube are probably the best places.
Yeah, if you can listen to us from YouTube, like if you have a computer with loudspeakers or your phone is able to play YouTube while you're not doing anything else on it,
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer about YouTube is you can't play
unless you get like YouTube Red or YouTube TV, whatever it is.
But yeah, all the episodes are there, so
yeah,
at the very least.
And you can always, we're still on iTunes. You can.
I think those links work.
There's ways to download our episodes as well. The newest ones will still be on Podomatic, so check it out. Leave us some feedback. Like us, hate us, love us, buy us lunch. All right, that's it. It's time for us to be moving on.
So long. Thanks for
when
listening.
we return, we will be cabin men. All right.
Thanks for listening. Bye.